everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals. And so I told you yesterday, or on the last video, that I was going to start giving a little testimony time to each video or some sort of thing. So I decided to shoot it this way, so I can't seem to walk and chew gum at the same time. So it's easier if I just sit here and talk. So I'm going to tell you real quick, hopefully. So I was telling you yesterday about how God brought me along to have faith for finances, so that sort of thing. And yesterday I told about how he caused our job salary to not be dropped miraculously. So then some time went by, same job. Sorry, I had to gather my thoughts. So they came up and said that they were going to consolidate about 6 jobs into one, and everything was going to change. And if you wanted to do this job, you had to take this 3-hour color test. So you get in a light booth and you basically kind of have to judge between color values that are about 2 or 3% apart. And so I took the test. I had every confidence that I'd be able to, see this color and so on and so forth. And you had to get a certain score. So when it was over, I asked my boss, who was doing it with me, watching me, I said, so how was it? And he goes, well, and he looked shocked. He looked really shocked. And he goes, you didn't pass. You missed by 1, but you didn't pass. And I go, well, and I was shocked. And I go, well, what does this mean? And he said, it means that you won't have a job. And the other funny thing was, it was on Valentine's Day. And I remember driving home and just crying my eyes out and thinking, God, why did you let this happen on Valentine's Day of all things? Which is really kind of silly. But anyway, I had to take the next day off. My husband and I went flea marketing because I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'd been there for years and years and years. And, by that point I had my degree from the Art Institute. I don't know. I just never imagined losing my job. So this particular story played out over several months. So God stretched me on this one. And so people start taking the tests, and a lot of people passed, a lot of people started failing. And so I'll try to wind this up in a shorter story. There was only supposed to be like I think 10% failure rate or something. And they ended up with, I forget now, a crazy amount of failure rate. So there was a lot of pushback on the person in charge that they needed to throw the test out, that it wasn't accurate, and so on and so forth. And he got in a meeting and beat his fist on the table, from what I understand, and said, we will not throw this test out. It's a good test. So I got stopped in the hallway by one of my former bosses, and he told me, he goes, I took that test you took, and I took it in this room, and I passed it, and I took it where you took it, and I failed it. And just letting you know, you might want to go to HR. And so I haven't mentioned this before, but I was maybe I did. I was always kind of a troublemaker. Would that be the word? I was always watching out for what I thought were my rights and other people's rights at work. And so when he told me to go to HR, I said, well, I've prayed about this, and I just feel like I'm supposed to leave it in God's hands and not do anything about it. And he just looked at me like, is this the same person that I managed for? This is crazy. This is not the girl that won't go to HR. So, and I had perfect peace about, that God was going to get me through this somehow, find me another job or whatever. So anyway, more time went on. And so in a nutshell, at the end, they threw the test out. They got a new test, and we all took the new test, and I passed. So I got to keep my job. So anyway, that's it for today. God is awesome. And I'm going to go on and show you some cool craft stuff. Okay, so we're back. And here are the dried sheets that I did. And most of them came out pretty interesting. These I think are cool. And something you can't really see on the camera very well is the shimmer. That one you could probably see. But I noticed that the ones that I used, that the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Spray, on the Distress Oxide Spray, if I used those, it just killed the mica spray, which I kind of knew that and I forgot. So that's okay. I was playing around. Now I know. So then here's so these are pretty cool, right? Or I think they are. And the modeling paste came out really good and looks cool. So then I'll show you one that's not so cool. This one I just kept spraying and messing with, and so it just kind of turned into a muddy mess. But you know, that's okay because I'm going to scrap on it. And then here's one. I went back and did another one with some of that modeling paste. I also wanted to tell you, be sure you don't do what I did. It never fails. I just randomly pick sheets. I need to be more careful. And so I picked, let me show you what sheets not to pick. Don't use this one. Don't use the one with the window. This is the window. Don't do this to this one, because you're going to cut this window out, and you know, it's just, you're going to, just don't. Pick a different one. And don't do this one, because this one, you're going to fold it in half and make a big pocket out of it and bind it into the journal as a page in the middle. I did this one because I wasn't paying attention, so you can see here. So, I mean, it's still usable, but I just wasted all of that because it's not going to show. So just be mindful, because I wasn't. Pick all the other sheets to do the texture paste on. I have this one with this texture paste on it. And so I'm like, oh, I want to spray stuff on it so bad. And I probably will, because I just can't resist. But I'm going to try to use restraint, because I also want to use some napkins. And the napkins, of course, show up better on white. And this is white. So I'm going to try and restrain myself. Anyway. Oh, and before I forget, I just wanted to show you this. I got this invitation to I'm going to say it wrong, quinceañera, when girls turn 15 in the Hispanic community, mainly. They have a big party for them when they're 15, and I got invited to one, and this gorgeous invitation came. And so, of course, I'm going to save it and put it in a journal. Isn't that cool? And it just tucks in like that, if you know what you're doing there. So that's how it looks. And then when it comes out, it's got the fancy cut edge. Isn't that awesome? Laser cut. Anyway, enough about that. Okay, so I think what I'll do first is maybe do, oh, you know what I'll do first is spray this, because I just can't resist it. So let me find a subtle spray. So I have a white spray. That's a little too subtle. I have some metallic sprays. Oh, there's tarnished brass. Okay. Here's chartreuse. I don't know about you guys, but I just constantly am rearranging everything. Are you guys doing that too? And I enjoy it. It's fun. It's almost as much fun as doing the journaling for me. But anyway, so got a bunch of sprays here. And I just need to use like one. Oh, I just love sprays. This one is a Heidi Swap spray. I've had it for quite a while. So I don't even know if it's available if anybody wanted to use it, but let's see if it'll spray. Oh, look, it's going to spray. Sort of. In a weird kind of way. Okay. So much for my using it subtly, but I need it to not be in half circles like that. So I'm going to spray some water on it. And actually what I need to do is spray this wonderful, this is Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist Diamonds, Dazzling Diamonds. So it's like a clear spray, and so it will, see how it dilutes the other spray, but it still makes it shiny. So this is a wonderful spray. I should have been using that earlier. And so I'm going to let it run because that's what Tim Holtz says to do. And I might even let it run. Actually, I'm going to let it run off. So it's not going to, I'm not going to have a white background, but I'm not going to have a real dark background. So we'll see how the napkins go on that. Okay, so this one is dry and it has some shimmer, not a whole lot, probably because I added water to it. Anyway, so I like it though. It's very subtle. It shows off the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to do some decoupaging, and I always feel like I should tell, in case there's somebody new, if you have not used napkins before, there's usually three layers. I'm going to tell you just real quick here. There's usually 3 layers of tissue paper, and you want to tear off the 2. If there's only one, then of course 1, but you just take a piece of Scotch tape or washi tape and just strip it off. You can save it and use it later for other things. I have a whole bag full. And actually, what I use them for usually is just to, now this one just has 1. I can tell by how thin it is. So that's it on that one, but that's how you do it. If there was 2, you just take the tape and do it again. And that one's ready to go. And so I pulled out a bunch of them with birds and nests and things. And then I pulled out my Tim Holtz tissue paper with different numbers and things, numbers and letters. I'm going to tear a piece of that off. And I've got the Entymology one, which I haven't used before, so I'm kind of excited about that. So this is the Entymology. Let's see, starts to repeat here. So I'm going to tear that off. I keep a file folder with all my extra pieces when I get done decoupaging, all my napkin pieces. Let me show you. I just put them in a folder and clip it shut. Of course, again, with the overkill, I've got way more than I need here. Okay, so I'm going to use Mod Podge. This is homemade Mod Podge, even though it says that it was originally the kind you buy in the store, but I've been making mine for quite a while. And so what you do to make it is it's 2 parts glue, 1 part water, and mix it up. I'm convinced that all of our products are glue, acrylic paint, and plaster of Paris. And that's all of our products that we've been buying. I think those are the 3 ingredients. Okay, so I think I'm going to tear a piece of this off and just go for that. It's going to be pretty bold. And if you have a brush and you use your Mod Podge and it goes and you forget to wash it out, don't worry, just put it back in the water and it will wake it back up and it'll be usable again. So, okay, so there's that. And let's see. I'll try this one. I'm going to tear the edge off so it gives me a little more of an irregular edge. I don't like the cut straight edge, obviously. And I'll put that there. Now the napkins, you can put the glue either, I put it underneath and on top, but it will bleed through, so you could just put it on the top and let it bleed through if you wanted to. It would eventually work. And see, this is going to let, it's so soft, it's going to let that texture come through it. Okay, and then on this side, it's very thin. I don't, and I'm going to go over that texture and hope it shows through. I think it will. After watching it over here, I think it will, so we'll see. I don't want that little copyright thing to show, so I'm going to, actually I should just tear it off, huh? There. Okay. So I can go back later and trim around the edges if it sticks out over the edge of it. I apologize, I'm working on a cookie sheet, and this particular cookie sheet is not flat, so it's wobbling around. I hope that's not interfering with you being able to see what I'm doing here. Isn't decoupaging just the best? I love it, how it just melts into the background. I'm going to get it really good and soaked right there where that texture is so that it shows through. Yeah, I'm going to push it down into that texture. Okay. All right. So there's that one. This one. Oh, you know what? Oh my goodness. Here's the other thing. Oh, I always forget to look. Oh, I did it right side up. Hallelujah. I can't tell you how many times I forget to look at the back of it and I decoupage upside down. So that's right side up. So, oh my gosh, always check to see. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to put, well, I guess I could leave that. I'm going to use a pretty big chunk. I want to get this moth. We're calling this Faith Field Notes, so it's kind of cool. This says field label on here. And he's pretty big. So I'm going to put him sideways over here. And he's bold enough to show up on this dark background. So, I guess it's a he. Or she, I don't know. I don't know how you tell on a moth. She doesn't have a bow in her hair, so I can't tell. Okay. And then I'm going to use a smaller piece over here. I've been wanting to use this for a long time, but it doesn't go with every type of journal that because I've tried several times and it's like, no, it doesn't go in this one. It's a little too, I don't know. These bugs are a little scary looking, but if you're doing a field notebook, you got to have bugs, right? Let's see. I'm going to put him over here, I think. Here in the middle, this will be where the fold is, so it's just going to show a little bit. I might just layer a little bit of this green. Don't really want the bird. Just, let me see what that looks like. I don't know how the green will go over the brown, but we'll find out. Got a straight edge anyway, didn't I? That helps. Okay. Now that definitely, I want to make sure that leaf shows through, so I'm going to really press it there. And a little bit up here. And I think I'll continue over here on this page. Okay, enough for that page. And a couple of these I'm going to leave alone because they kind of speak for themselves. I think these are, that doesn't need any help. And neither does that. These, I think, are, well, I'm going to go ahead and try it. I'm going to leave this one alone. Maybe put some scrapping on this. And then this one, I'm going to try, let me put some more of this black Holtz. I'll use his numbers. Okay, so that is that page. I'm going to take some more of this out. From the Entymology paper. Because I know the black will show over it, so. Okay, you guys, I was looking at this one to see, but I think I'm going to let it be just what it is. So I think I'm going to stop for today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please think about clicking the like button and subscribing. And I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.